Hello and welcome. I hope you're doing all you can to help the most vulnerable people on the planet. In today's exciting episode, it's another Tuesday episode. Haven't had one of these in a while. We are looking at the September sewing challenges, so the monthly challenges for September 2025.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So it's the kind of people at Stash Hub who've collected all this information. So I'm not sponsored by Stash Hub, but they are the ones who collected all this information and posted it on a blog on their site. So I'm just acknowledging that. I will put a link in the description box below so you can get to the website, see all the challenges and just click on the ones that you're interested in if you don't have time to listen to this video where I just chat at length about all the ones that are interesting to me. You can just go there and quickly see which ones are interesting to you. Or they're also on Instagram and they have they do a quick reel about what all their sewing challenges are each month over there. Or you could just download the Stash Hub app and there's a section in that as well. Anywho's, so I will get into what sewing challenges there are for September. Oh, I suppose I could do a 2-minute update of what I've done in the whole 2 days since I did my last video. So and the fabrics that I'm showing you, this is a fabric haul that I recorded. Well, I bought these fabrics in the second half of last year and then I divided them into colour lots, and these 5 cotton prints, I think they were sort of the ones that weren't the yellow ones, the pink ones, the orange ones. These were sort of all that was left. So they're a little bit interesting, and I bought a yard of each of them. And I think, well, the one with the big green leaves on the natural background, that is definitely going to be 2 jackets. But I think all the other ones will probably, they might be jackets, but I might end up making them into, look, aren't these leaves absolutely gorgeous? Anyway, the rest I might end up making them into layer cake dresses because I absolutely love layer cake dresses and I haven't made any in an absolute age, probably almost a year now. In the Northern Hemisphere, which is where most of you are watching this, there's only 3 weeks left of summer. So if you do want to make a dress like that, I've got lots of old videos, or if you go to my community page, there's just posts with photos and it says, for this section of the skirt, you need this much of this fabric, you need this much of this fabric. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, you just want to know the measurements, that's the place to go, the community tab, and just go down to find the picture of the layer cake dress and you can see it there. Anyway, now for a quick update on what I've been up to in the past few days. In the last episode, I told you that I beaded the sleeves of the vintage ladybug jacket and that I'd started working on the aqua one with the flowers. I've done a little bit more work. So I've been trying to KonMari my bead collection. So I'm collecting all the beads, taking them out of cardboard boxes, putting them all into storage containers. And I came across these giant orange sequins. And I thought they might work, but they really don't. So I end up taking these off. And yeah, so I've been moving my beads around, but I won't show you them yet. And yeah, and I've also taken the net off the design feature on the back. I think I will just do maybe something in burnt orange and brown, or maybe just straight up red. I'm not sure, but I don't like the net, I've decided. Or maybe I'll just do the one layer of the net. Anyway, so I took off these orange ones here because they were a little bit too yellowy orange. Yeah, it's a burnt orange large sequence with an orange gold flower on the front of it. And I thought it would look different. And yeah, I don't think it meshes well with the big clumps of flowers on the actual print of the fabric. So I carefully took them off and decided to do something else. And then I found these tiny little orange flowers. They're plastic beads in the shape of flowers. And they're left over from the boho floral jacket, if you remember that one. So I might use them. And this is me showing you, yes, I've got loads of these are the storage boxes of beads. So I'm sort of just getting there eventually. I'm just literally systematically going around picking up every cardboard box full of random beads. I'm going to put them all in the storage beads, and then once all the cardboard boxes are done, the bigger ones are going to be green because I know I have loads of green beads, and then the blue ones will be in one box, the orange will be in another box. So anyway, these are the leftover ones back when I made the boho floral jacket. And yeah, I like it. So I'm going to do a few more clumps of these. So there's a little bit of burnt orange in there. There is that sort of brighter orange in there, but because it's such a matte colour, it doesn't have a yellowishness that those other metallic ones did. Anyway, so it's really time to talk about September sewing challenges for this year. The first one is Sew Phoenix September. What you have to do for this challenge is recreate a make from your sewing past. I think this is awesome. So now that you have better technique and you know more about sewing and beading or whatever your craft is, because the first things we made, they're not always perfectly executed because our ambitions and our dreams are one thing, but our ability to make things it grows over time. Hopefully we build on our skills. So I think this is a really good idea. And then you take a photo of it. You've got all of September to make it, and then you photograph it, and then you put it on Instagram, you use the hashtag, you follow the right people, and you're in the competition to win some prizes. I'm not in it for the prizes. I just like the ideas, and it gives you something to do. So yeah, I thought that was a good one. The next one is the people who organise Sew a Garment a Month have a different theme each month. And for September, it's school or back to school. So like in grade school, I wore a gingham school dress, and then in high school I had like a blazer and this grey wool tunic, so mine could be making a school tunic, or if you've always wanted to make a tie, like a lot of schools had ties, or I don't know, a lot of people didn't have. Or maybe if you went to a school where there was no uniform and you always wanted something as a child, you always wanted a particular thing that your parents couldn't afford to buy. You could make it now. That would be something. Gabrielle Chanel in interviews used to say that the iconic Chanel jacket was based on the school uniform of the richer kids had one school uniform, and then she was born in a poorhouse, and she got sent to, the nuns educated her as well, but the poor kids who couldn't afford to pay school fees were educated like a trade school. So they sort of learnt to read and write, and they could draw numbers, but then the girls had to learn to sew, and the boys had to learn either how to become a blacksmith, how to become this, how to become that. So it was more like a trade school from a very early age rather than ever going to school. So you could do that. And the ideas they've got here are you could use old school techniques such as couture. Yes, I definitely agree with that one. Or you could think about what is considered uniform. So what's a style uniform, or at work, what are you expected to wear? And you could make something like that, or something in your old school colours. No, definitely not. Or you could do something like white shirts, pleats, or pinafores, things like that. Less interested in them. But I mean, if you want an excuse to do a Chanel jacket, I guess that's a good one. Oh, I love this fabric. Isn't it cute? The next sewing competition we have for this month is Shirtwaist September. So shirtwaist is apparently an old-fashioned way of saying a shirt dress. That must be a North American thing. Shirtwaist just means like a nightshirt is a shirt that's cut long, and a shirt waist is a shirt that cuts off at your waist and can be easily tucked into your trousers from where I'm from. But anyway, so you have to make a dress, a vintage style shirt dress basically, and then you take a photo of it and you use a hashtag and you follow the right people, and you might be eligible for some prizes, or you could just make the dress. So if you've ever wanted an excuse to make a shirt dress, here it is. The next challenge, well, it's a project, is Project Dress a Girl. So this happens every year, and what you do is you make cotton dresses, and there's very specific rules. So if you are interested in making dresses for girls, then I would definitely recommend you look up this. It's mostly in America, but if you can send your dresses from somewhere else to America for them to be distributed, then you can join in. Basically, you make dresses. Last year they made 7,349 dresses, and it's got to be a cotton dress. It's got to have at least one pocket. It's got to be modest, so a girl in any situation, because they send them to like rural communities sometimes and things like that. And it's got to have sleeves, got to have at least one pocket. It's got to be good fabric. You can't they went through a phase where people were like using pillowcases or something. So it's got to be natural fibers, and it's got to be proper fabric. And so if you've got some gorgeous, really cute quilting cottons that you just don't like those type of prints anymore, but they would be absolutely gorgeous for a little kid's dress, then you can make them with this, and it's got to be a reasonable length as well. And each dress you have to sew, you have to buy these labels, and you have to stitch them onto each of your dresses. So there's details on the website, so just click the link below and then scroll down to Project Dress a Girl and click on that, and you'll get all the details. And it's pretty easy, but you just have to make sure you hit all the specifics. And yeah, and make as many, like you can only make, if you've only got time to make 5 dresses, that's fine. If you can make 10 or 20, that's obviously better. Next we have, oh, I love this one, the Precious Fabric Challenge. To celebrate National Sewing Month, Tomcat Stitchery is hosting the Precious Fabric Challenge again. Choose any fabric that is precious to you and sew it up during September. So whatever fabric you have in your stash, like it doesn't have to be super, super expensive. If there's just one that you love, because fabrics are like fashion, they have seasons, and once they sell out of a fabric, you often can't buy it again. So it might be something really simple, like a cheap cotton or a cheap synthetic fabric, but the pattern is just, like the print is just absolutely adorable, and you're not going to be able to get it again. So the fear of messing up is there. So whatever is fabric precious to you, time to make it up. And then you just do the usual things, tag Tomcat Stitchery on Instagram and use the hashtag PreciousFabric25, and you can get some of the prizes that are up for grab. I kind of have to make some of my Make 9 jackets this month in September, so I might not get around to my precious fabrics, but I am going to do KonMari all my fabrics. So I think I'll at least look through all my fabrics and sort of pinpoint which ones are precious to me and which, if I had time, I would make up for this challenge. The next challenge is it's organised by Art Gallery Fabrics. So it's a quilting cotton fabric. So every for Spooky Month in October, they release a couple of months early loads of different Halloween fabrics, and I guess it's just their way of trying to get you to buy more. So they're saying instead of making your Halloween costumes and your Halloween themed clothes and quilts rushing through them in October, it's better to buy all your fabric early and make them in September. So, yeah, it's not for me. I don't wear costumes, but I mean, if you do, sounds fun. Actually, I did buy, after the Halloween fabric went on sale last year, I bought all this candy corn, like it's black fabric and it's got bits of candy corn on it. I've got several yards of that, like 3 yards, I think, enough to make a vintage dress. So I could make that. Anyway, the next one is Sew Fizz challenge. And oh my God, the way that it's cool. You're supposed to make a sophisticated dress, but they spell it out using different words. And it is so confusing to my brain. It takes me, so they've shortened the name to Sew Fizz and I can manage that. But then in the text, they've got Sew Fizz Tea Catered. And it's just too much for me. Anyway, so this is one of those British ones, and back when the Queen was alive and her mother was alive, the mother was old for a very long time, and so she couldn't go out and cut ribbons and things like that, but she still wanted to do her part as a royal. So she used to have these the Queen Mother garden parties, and you had to dress up if you were like you were active in your community, and the community said, we should reward this person for all the good work that they're doing. They would get an invite to one of these afternoon tea events. They're really fancy. So basically, that's where this idea comes from. But if you understand the idea of going to a fancy hotel in your town or your city and having afternoon tea there with the scones and the tea and all the little cakes and everything like that. It's that sort of thing. So you're looking to make a dress for a fancy afternoon tea event. And oh gosh. Anyway, so you're making a dress for that sort of occasion. So basically a garden party, a garden wedding, I guess. A really nice dress, but it could be floral. I was just looking at the new season of patterns on Simplicity, so Vogue Simplicity, New Look, Burda and Butterick, and there's one more. Which one am I forgetting? Anyway, you can yell it at the screen. So they're called Big Four, but there's like 6 companies. I was looking at those patterns, so I might do an episode where I look at all the patterns and you can decide which sophisticated dress you will make from one of those patterns, perhaps. Next up, we have My Makes September 25. As the name suggests, you just take a photo of your makes for this month and you use the hashtag MyMakesSeptember25 and you tag so much to design, just look in the link below and you'll get all the details and you can win some prizes. My first little bit of footage for the first fabric haul ran out. So this is another fabric haul that I filmed at the end of last year, probably maybe in October last year. And I just never got around to narrating it and using it. So it's all these gorgeous, I love that movie, Monsters, Inc. and Sully, the big fluffy character in that. So these are fabrics that are sort of remind me of Sully. Anyway, so the next challenge, this one's a little bit different. September 2025 sharing challenge. So I guess this is more if you've got a sewing Instagram account or a sewing YouTube account. And you have to make a video about your favorite tried and true patterns. So whatever it is that you've made like a billion times. For me, it would be the Vogue 7975, which is the best jacket making pattern. Even if you don't actually like the jacket, the instructions are written so well that you actually learn how all the steps of making a lined jacket properly. And then whenever other pattern you find that is a better shape or a better silhouette for you, but there's a few mistakes in it, you'll know how to fix them because you've trained yourself how to make a jacket properly using Vogue 7975. Anyway, there was this old sewing challenge. Was it last year or the year before? Where it's your top 5. So you had to do your favorite top, your favorite trousers or bottom, so trousers, skirt, something like that, Number 3 was your favorite all over. So it was like a dress or overalls, something like, or a jumpsuit. And then the 4th one was your favorite outerwear. So for me, that was a jacket, but for some people it was a coat. And then your 5th was a wild card. So I think for mine, I did either a different jacket pattern or layer cake dresses, I think it was. But you could do like a handbag or whatever it is that you like to make that doesn't fit the other category. I absolutely hate using new patterns. So yeah, I think I might watch a couple of these tried and true pattern videos that other people make and see what they recommend, because it's so nice just having one thing and just being able to do it, because I like to think about something else while I'm sewing. I don't like having to go, and what's the next step, and what's the next step. I like being familiar with a pattern and just making it over and over in different variations. Ooh, these are my mermaid pearls. Aren't they fabulous? I definitely so need to use them. They're so cute. Next up, we have it's a sewing challenge from Guthrie and Gannery. So it's G&G is a fabric store in the UK, and Lauren Guthrie is married to a guy whose surname is Ganny, so hence the name of the store. And I think it started out as like one of those stores where half of it is a cafe and the other half is like for dressmaking, and but eventually they could afford to buy more and more stock. Like, it must cost an absolute fortune if you're an independent fabric store to stock your entire store. Anyway, that was years ago. Now it's a full-on store, and she has her own YouTube channel, which is Lauren Guthrie. And yeah, she's just lovely. She's Scottish, but I don't think her accent is very broad, and she's just the most lovely person. And so she was on the British Sewing Bee, I think, in the very first season, and I think she came 3rd, perhaps. And anyway, she's lovely, and she has this store, and each month they do these sewing kits, which are incredibly popular. And you just sort of sign up and you get an email about what is in each one, and you can decide whether you want it or not. And they send you have to tell them what your size is, and then they send you the pattern, and they send you enough fabric for your size. And like, if it needs elastic or buttons or whatever, it's like a kit. So you know how they do those meal prep kits, it's the same for sewing. So anyway, and in September, she's got a sewing competition, and there's a different theme for each week in September. So the first week is Me Made Makes. So what you have to do, it's 2-part. You have to say what you made, and you have to say why you made it. So if there was a christening or a special wedding that you had to attend, you have to say why you made it, like the event that you made it for. Or if you just always wanted to make a jacket and this was the first one you made, then yeah, you say the reason why you made it, and then you show a picture and you use the hashtag, and you can be in the running for a voucher. Like, she has Liberty of London prints, and she has all these other gorgeous fabrics as well. So there is that one. Next up, we have Backstitched, a September sewing challenge. So this is kind of, I guess it's like Me Made May, but yeah. So it's what you've made already, and just looking back and, appreciating what you've already done instead of rushing to make the next thing. So I'll just read what they've got. Hindsight is 2020. So in September, we are winding through our handmade journey. Every day, share a past make along with the story behind it. The struggles, the lessons, the inspiration, the joy, whatever. Interpret the prompts however you'd like, and empty those camera rolls. Well, I'm using up old footage here, so ticking that box already. What was your first make? What is sewing royalty to you? So uncomfortable, so something that maybe you made that is a little too small, or oh my gosh, those first times you buy fabric and you just get so excited you make something without pre-washing it first. And then you're like, well, I have to wash it at some point. And of course, if it's natural fabric, it shrinks a little. Anyway, I might make a separate video about and using some of these prompts because some of them are really interesting. Okay, and I think that's it for the main challenges, but then we've got the ongoing challenges. Last Sew is Standing started in February on February 14th, and it's like a no-buy thing. I think I'm going to do a no-buy year next year where I don't buy anything. Well, I don't buy any clothes really. I just buy occasionally t-shirts, underwear, and yoga pants when I need them. So I'm not really sure, it's a stretch for me, but I think I have been buying too much dressmaking fabric. So I'll stop buying that for a year, I think. And yeah. Anyway, the next ongoing stash busting challenge is Fabric Roulette, where you sort of just go into your closet and point and go, yeah, I'll use that, or just try again and go, yeah, no, yeah, and just keep pointing until you decide you like one and you will use it. The next one is Two from Stash. And as the name suggests, each month you have to challenge yourself to use up 2 of the fabrics you have in your fabric stash. I guess I'll be doing that because I have to make 3 more jackets for my Make 9s this month. And that segues nicely into the next one, which is the Make 9. As I said, I've only made 3 of my 9 Make 9s, so you might as well start your Make 9 now. I think I'm hoping to get all of them done in September, October, November, and then for December, which is Vlogmas, where you make a video each day, I was thinking maybe I'll do a Make 9 just for the whole of December as well. Because I haven't even finished my actual Make 9 yet, so maybe work on that first. And the last 2 planning and accountability challenges are Sew 25 in 25. It's where you make just over 2 things a month for this one. And yeah, I probably do that already. And then the last one is Virtual Sewing Room. And that's where you can just chat online to other sewers if you're lacking motivation. And yeah, I have lots of motivation. I just don't have as much time as I have ideas. And this is the footage of my darling. So that's it for the sewing challenges for September. There's some really good ones this month. I am going to I really need to do my Make 9s, but I think there's a couple of things I will make videos on, like that backstitch one. I think that's looking back at all the things you've made and getting out some of the like dresses and shirts and jackets that I've made and skirts, and talking about why I made them and what I learnt and how I would improve if I remade them. And that remake one, I think that's a good one, like the first one, Sew Phoenix September. With this Barbie jacket, I actually did that. I love this jacket so much, but it was too heavy. There were way too many beads on there. And I ended up carefully taking all the flower-shaped beads off and the seed beads. And I'm gradually using them all up in other things. I used a decent amount of the seed beads on the fringe bits, on the sleeves and around the bottom for the fabric flower jacket on the left, and then all the flowers I used on the other jacket on the right. I ended up putting strings of beads down as well. So yeah, definitely using it up. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found some inspiration and some sewing challenges that you want to take part in. Anyway, thanks again for watching. And go to Stash Hub, and there's a link below to go to Stash Hub, and you can see all the details, and you can download the app if you want. Not sponsored, that's just where I got all the information from. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and happy sewing and beading.